So to me, it's like really exciting. Like the revival, I think is really exciting, but it's also exciting to see like people who are making new music, whether it's like, I don't know, Machine Gun Kelly or Willow Smith or Lil Uzi. And, you know, like I just think it's really interesting to see how the influences like filter through to other people. What's up, I'm Pete.
I'm Andy.
We're in Fall Out Boy. We're hanging out with Diffuse.
Which events influenced your new album?
I think that, you know, going through the pandemic and then kind of coming out and thinking about as life moves on that we're slowly all moving towards not existing one day, that like definitely influenced the record in the way that like you kind of want to do nothing, but you should probably do lots of things instead.
Was recording at home a challenge for you during the pandemic?
Well, we like always kind of operate pretty independently in the way that like we just email back and forth because we don't really live super close to each other. But this is the first record where we actually got in the room with each other. And so I think it was actually influenced by the pandemic in the way that like we wanted to get there and like hold each other creatively accountable within the room. And we also didn't want to be like too heavy-handed with like referencing the pandemic, though it was such a pivotal time in people's lives. So like I actually think Quarantine Blues might have been the only time we referenced it, because Flu Game is actually a reference to this game that Michael Jordan played when he was legendarily sick.
I think it was a finals game, right?
Yeah.
What is the idea behind your album title, So Much for Stardust?
I mean, I think it's got a couple different meanings. You know, there's obviously the, you know, we live in a time where, you know, everyone's documenting themselves and this, I mean, just everyone all the time, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like relentless. So I think that like there's like that kind of like Hollywoodification of all of us that's referenced there. But more than that, I think it's just like the basic idea that like, you know, we're all like, you know, made of carbon, which is like old stars or whatever. Yet like, and we're so similar, but it feels like it, like the world's kind of like just like on the edge. Like it feels like it's like ready to blow all the time now, you know? It just feels like everything feels like so like bubbling, you know? And so I think it's a reference to like, you know, we're so similar, but we can't really get it together.
Why did you send out items like postcards and pink seashells as part of your promotion?
I think specifically for this one, we live in this time, you know, and I see it really because with like my kids, like where it's like such a, like an NFT digital culture, like avatars and Fortnite skins. And so we kind of just like went very counterintuitive and wanted to do all tangible stuff. Like, so the cover is like claymation with an oil painting and, you know, the seashell, like all stuff that you can feel, and then it has like a real world texture. And so like that was the attempt, at least with, I don't know, they call it marketing, but I just think it's like all one cohesive part of the album.
What is your opinion on the recent revival of pop punk?
Human beings, like in our culture, is like cyclical by nature, obviously. So like it just comes around, then it's new. It's got like a new version of it, you know? So to me, it's like really exciting. Like the revival, I think is really exciting, but it's also exciting to see like people who are making new music, whether it's like, I don't know, Machine Gun Kelly or Willow Smith or Lil Uzi. And, you know, like I just think it's really interesting to see how the influences like filter through to other people. I guess that like, the pendulum just swings back and forth, right? And like, so now like it's, you know, kids, you know, are into guitars, or like, you know, there's kids picking up guitars and want to play it and stuff, which is very cool.
Are there any up and coming artists you admire?
Like this kid, Games We Play, I'm like selfishly, like I signed him to my record label, but he's like awesome. I think he just like is a strange and funny and very prolific writer.
How does making music stay fun and exciting for you?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I think that you can get into how do you explore new territory, and that's where you like sometimes need a different producer or a new idea or, you know, an outside thought, because it forces you out of your comfort zone. I think we went pretty far out of our comfort zone on Mania though, and we're able to dial it back a little bit.
What are your plans for the time after the tour?
So we're touring this record pretty heavily. We're going to do the US and then Japan and Europe and then Australia. And then maybe we'll do festivals after that. I'm not really sure. Probably festivals. Thanks. I'm Pete.
I'm Andy.
We're a band called Fall Out Boy, and we were hanging at Diffuse.